All right. So I wanted to make this video to help those of you who maybe would consider being a host for our Sunday morning worship online as we're doing it this way. When you go to the website, yourrockhall.churchonline.org, or you click on the tab on our website, it takes you to this screen if you're not logged in, right? And so you would come here, and up the top you would click login, and mine saves my login information, so you just enter yours. Click login, and then it populates you yourself. And if the service is not online, which you can see here, the next event's not for an hour and 6 minutes, then you would see that we have our announcements running. We have a schedule where people can invite their friends to the service by just entering their email address. You can see you have access to the notes for the service, the schedule like was there, the Bible, and a connection card. Now the connection card it defaults when the service goes live. The worship connection card is here. It'll be the first thing that people see. Hopefully we want to get people to fill that in so we can get that information from them, just so we can follow up. It has all the things that the paper connection card had when we're in church, whether it be their telephone number, email address, any sorts of feedback that they would like to have, pastor contact, decisions they made to follow Jesus or to recommit their life to Jesus, if they're wanting to get connected. I have all those things. Also have a place for them to fill in their prayer requests and hit submit. So that's pretty easy for most folks to follow along with. They may have questions about it. I don't know. So anyway, this is what you see on your screen once you're logged in as a host. Up here at the top, these are extra buttons that you normally don't see. But this is a direct chat. These are direct messages to you, chats that you're involved in. These are notifications. Things like somebody submitted a prayer, they requested prayer, so you'd get that in a notification. Or if someone sent you a direct message, you would get a notification there. This is just number of users currently and total. So usually I believe the total number is higher than the current number, usually. Right now there's nobody in here but me. So slide manager is something I'll show you here in just a moment. In settings, which you don't really need to worry about. But these tabs, Give, Your Rock Hall Church, Contact Us, those are all links to our website, as is the logo here on the top. All right, so this is what you see when you get in. You can click Remind Me, and it'll send you a reminder to your email that, hey, worship is about to start, that kind of thing. So what I would ask is that you go to the Host Tools tab, and when you go to this screen, what you'll see here is just some notes that I put in here for us, as for us to interact. They're kind of self-explanatory, but get there early, log in, welcome, just type a welcome message in. There'll be a button down here at the bottom where you can type in. It'll have your username and just a window where you can type in a message. If there are more than one host in the same worship service, there'll be a way that you can communicate separately from everyone else. So you can kind of send each other messages about, hey, you might want to follow up with this person, or do you know who that is? That kind of thing. So welcome people to direct message people. You can just use their screen name, use the @ symbol in their screen name, and that sends it directly to them, I believe. With that, it alerts them that they have a direct message that doesn't go through the whole room for everybody. And then ask you, just as the service goes on, to just use this to engage the room, the people who are logged in. Not just asking questions, but share your thoughts about, when they do respond to something, engage them, engage their thoughts. If they say, "Wow, that really moved me," like, why? Like, what was it about that? Or when they notice something in their life that connects to Scripture or things, that's a great insight. Maybe it reminds you of a passage of Scripture. Put those sorts of things in there just to engage people. So it's not just a quiet room, but it is a loud chat room. It is a working chat room. All right. Don't wait for me or whoever's speaking to ask questions. And you can ask questions. that because it's all about engaging people. We'll then be inviting people to pray, and they have that request prayer button there at the bottom of the screen, and when they do that, you will get a notification here. It'll direct you to it, where there will be prayer requests made, and you can respond to them directly. All right. And finally, as the service moves towards the end, I would ask people to get involved in ministry, whether it be helping with the online, helping to produce it, where we do during the week, helping with our social media during the week. There are all kinds of ways now that we're not meeting face to face that people can still be engaged and still be in ministry, especially folks who are a little more comfortable in a computer environment. So, what else is here for you? The metrics tells you how many people are online now and how many people have watched the service. Since the service is not going on, there's no way to, there's nobody watching the service. And it tells you how much time is left in the next service or in the current service. So it doesn't start until 11:30, I guess. Is that right? Something like anyway. So it just runs off of that. So you have a schedule. You have the notes as well. The only thing you don't have is a connection card, but you don't need it because you're a host, right? So you have the ability to cut and paste all these things into a message. Any of this stuff you would know everybody else the passages, kind of the thoughts that I'm working through as we work through the service. And finally, you'd have a copy of the Bible there as well. So. The slides. Slides are the things that are at the bottom of the screen as we go through the service. So they're usually, I have them set for a timer so that they come up when I think we would be inviting people to engage in those pieces, like Sign In Connect, that's going on before the service begins. And if you hit publish, since the service isn't running right now, it would push that onto the screen. So, yeah, it would just send it to everyone's screen that everyone would see it. So, there might be something in the service that makes you think is a salvation moment where you would push that to the screen, and if you don't want any, and it'll stay on the screen until the next scheduled slide comes up. But if you want to clear it, you just click on the blank big. That wipes out everything. That just leaves a blank void there in that space. So that's how you clear the screen from having one of those messages on there. Just hit blank. Easy as that. All right. What else is in here? Notifications we've talked about. Resources, slides. Just using this space as a place to engage people. Invite people to Bible studies or prayer groups or small groups. If you have people in the room who want to be a part of a small group, they say, well, I can't do it on Wednesday or Monday or whatever, then say, okay, let's anybody else here in the room would be able to be a part of a group on Tuesday, whatever. Just kind of facilitate the conversation, connect people. If something happens during the service, like the screen blanks out and people start saying, hey, what happened? It went dead. Then if you click on this, the menu tab up here on the top left, it'll open this where you can go to the administrative functions, which I'm not sure if you have access to those or not, but you don't need that. But you can hit force refresh of all users. Everyone's browser will refresh. In other words, it happened just this past week where the video didn't start as it should. And so I came in and I forced refresh on all users. And it should refresh everybody's computer, everybody's browser. It's like everyone hitting their own reload button up here on the top, but you're doing it for them. So that's a way to do that. If you want to go back and see the larger screen, you can go back to view worship experience, or I can't remember what it was called now. Let me go back and look. What was it called? Well, switch to guest experience. So you can switch to guest experience and you go back to the way it was. You still have access to all these functions up here, Also in the settings is the force refresh for all users. So, and you can also turn off the chat for all users. If you have someone who comes in who's belligerent or disrespectful in any way, you can turn the chat off. You can turn the chat off for all users. And when you do that, let's say if we have someone who's disrespectful or whatever, if you have to disable chat for all users because someone's not acting right, you disable it, and then you come over here. But you come back to this part, and here in this chat window, you will see there'll be during a service that's actually running. You will see there will be a little arrow with a number of people who are in the chat room. If you pull that down, you can disable or you can mute that person. So I think you have to right click on them or something. Or no, here on this, that's it. Never mind. Here on this screen, you'll see a list of all the chats that are going on in the room. I should have a live service and show you this. But over here on the right-hand side of this chat screen will be 3 little dots. If you click that, one of them will be mute or disable or kick out that person from the chat room. And you're basically booting them out if they're being disrespectful. So, yeah, that's the way you handle folks that are doing that. So, hope that makes sense. It's not hard, I promise. The interface here is pretty reliable, and we haven't had any technical difficulties since the first couple of weeks. Once they got up to scale for the number of people who started using this service. It's free. It's distributed by Life Church out in Oklahoma. The same people who put together the YouVersion Bible app. That's why it is in here. So that's why one reason I encourage folks to use that YouVersion Bible app, because they do great stuff. So anyway, thanks for considering being a host. I hope it makes sense. If you have particular questions, if you want to try it during a service that's going on this week, let me know, and I'll be glad to log in with you, okay? Thanks. God bless you all, and I appreciate everything you're doing to keep us all connected. All right? God bless. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.